Plane. The new thriller that arrives in theaters today has a title that is short and simple. Plane. The movie is anything but simple. Over-the-top action, plot twists galore, and Gerard Butler back in an action role, familiar one for him. Here's a familiar role with his Friday review. Good morning, Eli Glasner. Great to see you today. Good morning. Okay, this title, I mean, did they run out of creativity? Plane. They called it Plane?
Look, I think it's a bold choice. I'm impressed. They could have gone for the generic terror at 30,000 feet, turbulence, runway of death, but they went with Plane. And Heather, the working title was The Plane. For real. And I guess they decided, you know what? No, that gets in the way of just the power of just a movie called Plane. Plane is a promise. Here is a film. There will be a plane. There you see the plane, and you can probably expect some action and adventure. Maybe something will fall from the sky, but Plane will plane, and it certainly does.
There's a plane. Is there a storyline? Is there a plot?
Yeah, sir. There's lots of things. So let's introduce you to Captain Brody Torrance. He's an airline pilot. He's trying to get home, working that long overnight flight to Singapore. He's just a guy trying to get home to finally see his daughter for New Year's Eve. They've been through a rough patch. He's a single father now. He lost his wife, but finally he can see her. They can get together. It's all going to be better. I'm sure it will be fine. So he's there with his capable co-pilot, Samuel from Hong Kong. And then there's a last-minute addition to the passenger list. Take a look.
Torrance, Flight Commander. How can I help you? Captain Torrance, Flight Commander. How can I help you?
Fugitive extradition.
Oh, is he dangerous? What did he do?
Homicide 15 years ago.
I don't want to scare the rest of the passengers.
I'm afraid you're stuck with us, Captain.
All right. So the big guy in handcuffs goes to sit in the back of the plane with a flight marshal. Time to push off. But that annoying airline executive is insisting that they fly through and over a storm, not around it. Because, you know, fuel, expensive, inflation, all of that. What's the worst that could happen? Wait, do I hear thunder? Take a look.
Everyone to have their seatbelts securely fastened.
Mayday, mayday, mayday. Trailblazer 119, we are dark. Anyone near dark, damn it.
We're gonna hit. We're gonna hit.
And hit they do. There's a lightning strike. The plane plummets from the sky without power. Brody and his co-pilot heroically wrestling with the controls, smash landing the plane into a remote jungle, the Jolo Island cluster south of the Philippines. Now here is where we pivot to essentially a survival story. The passengers stumbling out, but there's not a lot of time to rest. This is the territory of a dangerous separatist militia who have a thriving business selling Westerners for ransom, Heather.
Okay, so there's a lot happening here. This is a pretty complicated plot line, as I was saying. What about the actors delivering the performances and all of this? How are they doing? Certainly Butler's back in a familiar role.
Butler is back, and that's the thing. Like, this is a certain kind of film. You could almost look at it as a throwback. Action film needs an action star. And in 2023, it's almost a dying breed, right? Bruce Willis's best acting days are behind him. Liam Neeson can only save so many people from kidnapping. Harrison Ford, at 80, is already dusting off his fedora for his next Indiana Jones film. Enter Gerard Butler, the old navy of action heroes. Affordable, dependable, and like that hoodie that you keep putting on, there's a worn-in quality to him that gets better with age. Now there you see some images, the whole spectrum of his schlock and awe, his career on film, from the abtastic Sparta King of Frank Miller's 300 to the bulletproof Secret Service agent Mike Banning, the hero of Olympus Has Fallen and the London Has Fallen franchise. But the worst things get, the better it is for Butler, and he's best as an average Joe. But this plane is built for two. With the pirates now hunting his passengers and crew, the captain is forced to team up with You guessed it, the guy sitting in handcuffs. Mike Coulter plays Louis Gaspard. Now, you might not recognize the name, but if you're a fan of the show Evil or you watched Marvel's Luke Cage series, you know who Mike is. Turns out that our good old captain spent some time in the RAF so he can handle himself. Gaspard was in the French Legion, and this is about as much as we get as his backstory as Captain Torrance hands him a machine gun. Take a look.
My passengers, my responsibility. I'm gonna need your help.
You're gonna need this.
Former military or something?
You could say that.
Then why'd they lock you up?
No one cares what really happened. But they say redemption can be found in the most unusual places.
There you go. Luckily, this is not what I'd call a dialogue-driven film, Heather.
Sky-high expectations, though, for Plane. What did you think in the end, Eli?
This, honestly, I enjoyed it. I was perfectly satisfied when I left the theater. This is meat and potato cinema, cooked just right. Nice, tidy, 107 runtime. It delivers what it promises, plain and all. Great vehicle for Butler and a thrill ride that lands with time to spare. 3.5 stars out of 4. I almost gave it 4 out of 5.
See, okay, this is good. I was kind of liking it based on your review. I'm glad you also liked it. I would give you 4, though, for the Abtastic and the Warnian hoodie references. That just took it over the top for me. Thank you, Eli. Talk to you again next hour on a totally different matter, but appreciate the review today.
My pleasure.
Eli is going to join us in the next hour for more on this story. Totally different matter, but appreciate the review today.
My pleasure.